The first question: describe Christopher's dream and his reactions within the dream. Why does the dream make him happy? Christopher's dream is all about a virus that kills everybody on the earth, except people like him, uh, like people with autism. And the reason why that dream makes him happy is because of the fact that everyone is dead, and he could do anything he wants without getting stressed or being talks being seen by other people in the surroundings. Question 2: why does Christopher feel the need to go back to Swindon? How does he react to Mother's solution to this problem? The reason why he feel like going back to Swindon is because of his Math 8 test, which he prepared for a long time, and the solution that Mom found for the problem was to go back to Swindon with Christopher, and the first time Christopher was a bit surprised because she told him he couldn't make the Math 8 test this year, but she somehow changed her decision and came and moved back to Swindon to take the test. He was either happy about the solution Mother found out because he thought that if he moved back to Swindon, he has to live with his dad, and he never liked that because he hated his dad. But he also have to ta- have to take his Math 8 test, so he was both surprised and stressed, or think it was a bad solution for the problem. Yeah. The next third question. It's a quote, and it's best if you know a good thing is going to happen, like an eclipse or getting a microscope for Christmas. And it's bad if you know a bad thing is going to happen, like having a feeling or going to France. But I think it is worst if if you don't know, if you don't whether do not know whether it is a good thing or a bad thing, which is going to happen. Comment on this quote. Can you relate to Christopher's sentiment? Why or why not? Uh, I I don't I can't relate with Christopher's sentiment because I don't agree with the statement he makes. I'm like that person that kind of guy that thinks that it's better not to know whether it's a bad or a good thing that's going to happen. Because if you know that a good thing is going to happen, in, for example, in the education sector, one works so hard because you know that even though you don't, because you know that something is going to happen, something good is going to happen. Like you pass in the exams, uh, so you work, your hard work slows down, and you don't work so hard like you did before you knew the good news. And I think it's better to know what a bad thing is happening because it's going to happen, because if you know a bad thing is going to happen in the future, so you could uh, so you could do do something, do anything or something, like something that could change the table, can turn the table so that the bad thing doesn't happen, and make it doesn't happen in the life, I guess. Yeah. Why is killing of Wellington not going to have legal consequences? The main reason why the killing of Wellington is not is don't have any legal consequences is because Wellington is a dog, and killing a dog doesn't is a little crime and doesn't mean so much. So they don't arrest the people that kill dogs or that kind. That's why. That's the reason why there's no. That's the reason why his father's not going to get it. He's not going to get arrested by the police. Question 5. What are some of the good things and bad things that follow after Christopher being reunited with mother? Some of the good things that happened would be he found his mom. He traveled all the way to London alone for the first time. He talked to many strangers. He came out of his comfort zone. Uh, he started to talk with his dad. Started to trust him again, and he got a chance to take the math test. Yeah, and the bad. He also got a new pet dog, from his dad. Yeah, and the bad thing that happened, I can't remember so much any bad thing that happened. The only thing I can think of is of his pet, the rat that get died. That's the one thing I can remember. Hmm. How would you describe Christopher's family once he moved back to Swindon? What has changed for the better? How was the mother change and how was the father change? Hmm. A lot of things happened. He started to talk with his dad again, and their relationship between Ed and his mom started got better, and maybe they would all live under the same roof if the story goes on like this. What is Christopher's conclusion to this war ordeal, which he has written down? His conclusion to this war ordeal is all about that uh, everybody can do anything. Anybody can do anything, even though they experience some kind of sickness or they are handicapped or some kind. To what extent does the book conclude on a note that ties up all loose ends, or are there some loose ends still dangling? Comment on this and speculate about Christopher's future. I would say that his conclusion ties up all the loose ends, and it's because that the novel ends on a note on total happiness, because he found his mom and his normalized relationship with his dad, and he also began to express his emotions in a way that other people can understand. There are many things that happen, and all these things come together in his conclusion. Mm, yeah. Themes. Discuss how these themes might be found in the book. Yeah. Growing up. Hmm. It could be like how a kid with autism grows up and how and the problems he has to faces, like problems Christopher faces in this book. Trust Trust plays a main role in this story because it's all of all the things happened because he lost his trust with his dad, and that's the reason why he ran away to London to see his mom because he found out that his dad killed the dog, and he found out that the mom wasn't dead. So he ran away because he doesn't trust his dad anymore. And truth, love, and safety. He always wants to know the truth, and he thinks that and he thinks that knowing the truth make things easier. But at last in the story, he finds out that sometimes you have to lie in order to make others happy. Uh, and Christopher and 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 that could also hurt people. Uh, yeah, logic and emotion. He always tried to understand the world with logic. All the things he says it in a logical way, and that's how he expresses. That's also how he expresses feelings instead of emotions like we people, normal people do. Perspective and absurdity, absurdity of the world. Like because of the story, we get to know how a person with autism thinks and how world looks like in his eyes and in his perspective, and what are the things that are different for them, and what makes it difficult for them to be normal, and how normal people could do, and all the things we normal people could do in order to make them part of the world. Yeah. Final analysis. Generally speaking, what did you appreciate the most about the story? The least and the why? The thing I appreciate most would be the reason why he's writing the story, and the least thing I would appreciate is his usage of science. Because some of the theories he speaks about, he tells in the story are fine enough and interesting, but the rest of them are a little bit higher class and makes it difficult to understand and makes the story boring in some ways. To what extent does Christopher change or grow during the novel? Uh, he changed a lot. He came out of his somehow came out of his comfort zone, not fully, but in some ways. He was that kind of person that stays in his neighborhood, but ended up traveling to London all alone. He talked to strangers, and his confidence level increased somehow. How would the story change if we didn't have a first-person narrator, but had instead a third-person narrator? It the story will become boring or less interesting because the main reason for the story is to show other people uh, how a kid with autism see the world, and what are the things that are difficult for him. So if a third person narrator narrated the story, we don't get his we can't we will never know his perspective, his point of view, Christopher's point of view, which will make it boring and less interesting. And that's why I think first person narrator would be best for the story.